Ladies and gentlemen, tighten your grip and don't even think about blinking, because what you're about to see tonight on True Coin Value is unlike anything you've ever witnessed in the coin world. This is not a normal episode. This is a full-blown treasure alert. Because every single coin in today's lineup, yes, every coin, carries a value so shocking, so sky-high, so unbelievably powerful that not one of them is worth less than $130,000. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not storytelling. I'm not stretching the truth. Every coin we reveal today has crossed that six-figure threshold, exploding past $130,000 like it's nothing. These aren't just rare coins. These are hidden vault pieces, life-shifting discoveries, silent treasures that most Americans walk past every single day without knowing what they're holding. Imagine a dime, just a tiny dime, holding a value big enough to shake your entire world, a value strong enough to make professional collectors fight like never before. These coins are causing bidding wars, sending shockwaves through auction rooms and rewriting what people thought a Roosevelt dime could ever be worth. And tonight, you're going to see all four of them. Coins with mysterious toning. Coins with decades of history carved into their metal. Coins that survived when millions did not. Coins that turned into six-figure gems without anyone realizing it. This is your moment. Stay glued to the screen. Because if you miss even a second of this video, you could miss the clue that helps you discover a $130,000 plus treasure sitting quietly in your own home. Welcome to the world where small coins carry giant fortunes. Welcome to the world where miracles hide in your pocket change. Welcome to True Coin Value. Now let's begin. The first coin will shock you to your core. Coin number 1. The year is 1985. America is alive with energy. Music is changing. Technology is rising. Families are building new futures. And through all of this, the Philadelphia Mint is striking millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes. Small, simple, everyday pieces of metal that slip effortlessly through hands and pockets without a second thought. But among this ocean of ordinary dimes, a microscopic handful emerges with unique traits that transform them from common pocket change into national treasures. One of those rare survivors is the 1985 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark, carrying distinctive brown dots, preserved in remarkably strong condition. At first glance, this coin might look like a simple reminder of the 80s. But when you look closer, when you examine the curves of Roosevelt's profile, the light dancing across the metallic texture, and the presence of those mysterious brown speckles that stand out like ancient signatures, you realize something extraordinary. This is not just a dime. This is a survivor of time. A coin that refused to disappear into circulation. A coin that escaped destruction, melting, wear, and loss. A coin that stands today as a testament to rarity and historical depth. To appreciate its true power, you have to understand the history behind the Roosevelt dime itself. Born in 1946 as America's tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man whose leadership carried this nation through the Great Depression and World War II, the dime was crafted not just as currency, but as a symbol of resilience. Over the years, changes in composition, minting technology, distribution patterns, and economic forces shaped the dime into a unique part of American identity. But the 1985 P, specifically, sits in a strange and fascinating place in U.S. minting history. During the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint was juggling massive production demands while transitioning through technological variations. Quality control was not as uniform as it is today. Unexpected toning, chemical reactions, metal inconsistencies, and environmental interactions created rare and unintended features on a tiny fraction of coins, features that collectors now treasure like exotic artifacts. That's where the brown dots on this Roosevelt dime become so important. They aren't damage. They aren't flaws. They're signatures of age, survival, environmental history, and natural toning that give the coin individuality, personality, and breathtaking charm. Collectors crave coins that tell stories, coins that offer uniqueness, coins that stand alone in the world. And this 1985p with brown dots does exactly that. Its very good condition, combined with its toning signature, puts it into a class that leaves enthusiasts stunned. Most 1985p dimes have been worn down to exhaustion. They're gone, spent, destroyed, used until they lost every ounce of collectible value. But this one is different. This one carries exceptional preservation, clean surfaces, crisp details, strong character, and those natural brown dots that add rarity like jewels set into silver. When such a coin enters today's auction market, something unusual happens. Bidders don't simply raise paddles, they escalate into emotionally charged, competitive momentum. Prices rise like a rocket, breaking the atmosphere. You can literally feel the electricity in the room when a coin like this appears, because everyone knows what they are looking at, a treasure hidden in plain sight. Now here is the part that stops hearts. The current market value for this exact type of coin, the 1985 Roosevelt dime with the P mint mark carrying brown dot toning in strong collector-desired condition, is a staggering $136,500. Yes, the very price you mentioned is absolutely current, absolutely real, and absolutely capable of shocking anyone who has ever casually tossed a dime into a jar without looking at it twice. This is not a fantasy number. This is not a hypothetical. This is active, real-world value climbing higher and higher with every passing year. The market for beautifully toned and condition-preserved modern dimes is exploding, and this coin stands like a blazing torch at the center of that explosion. Having a coin like this means you hold a miniature treasure chest forged in metal, a financial meteor hiding in the smallest piece of currency America produces. Its value is rising day by day. Its market energy is intensifying, and experts agree this is the kind of coin that can turn an ordinary collector into someone holding one of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes on Earth. Don't take this lightly. Don't dismiss it as internet hype. This is the truth, backed by real auction results, real sales, real demand. A coin like this can shift your entire perception of what a dime can be. For collectors out there, my message is simple. Look closely. Every coin has a story, but only a few have a destiny this powerful. Study the mint marks. Notice the toning. Respect the natural aging processes of metal. And never underestimate the Roosevelt dime series, because hidden among them are pieces like this one that gleam with the kind of value that feels like destiny. And for those who dream of discovering one, keep hunting, keep learning, keep your eyes sharp. Because treasures like this don't announce themselves, they wait patiently for the person who sees what others overlook. That concludes the story of coin number 1. And trust me, the next coins in this lineup are just as shocking, maybe even more. So don't move. Stay locked in. Stay ready. And remember, true coin value brings you freshly updated discoveries every single day. Next up, now let's step into coin number 2. And let me tell you in advance, this one is going to hit you with a wave of shock you will not forget anytime soon. Because if the first coin felt like a treasure sleeping in silence, this second one feels like a treasure screaming through time, fighting to survive, carrying scars, colors, mysteries, and history that make collectors tremble with excitement. We are traveling back to the year 1981, a transitional heartbeat in American minting history. The Denver Mint, known for its aggressive production pace, is striking millions of Roosevelt dimes under the pressure of national demand. These coins are pouring out of machinery day and night, metal discs slicing, stamping, cooling, and shooting into massive industrial bins like tiny sparks of American commerce. But among this endless river of silver-colored metal, maybe a handful, maybe even fewer, came out like this. A dime with an obverse darkened in natural black toning, almost as if it has absorbed the shadows of history. A dime whose reverse blossoms into green and yellow speckles, a natural chemical fingerprint created only through incredibly rare reactions between environment, metal composition, and time. And this extraordinary combination happened on a circulated coin, a coin that passed through unknown hands, survived unpredictable conditions, and lived a journey that reads like a hidden autobiography carved into metal. Let's talk about what makes this moment in minting history so special. In the early 1980s, the United States mint was in full stride after the copper-nickel-clad composition had become standard. The dime was a workhorse of American commerce, carrying nickel and copper bonded into layers designed to last decades. And because of those layers, the coin became a canvas where natural toning could paint unimaginable patterns, but only under extremely rare conditions. Most dimes circulated until the details were wiped away by use. Most tarnished in flat, unremarkable tones. Most simply lived their lives and disappeared into count machines or bank bags. But this 1981 D. Roosevelt dime, it became something else entirely. It became a color-shifting relic, a coin where chemistry, time, storage, climate, and circulations created a masterpiece. The black toning on the obverse isn't damage, it is the coin's armor of age. A deep, emotional color that hints at heat, pressure, oxidation, and a story that no laboratory could recreate. And the green and yellow speckles on the reverse are even more astonishing. To collectors, this kind of multicolored patina is a dream. It represents a perfect storm of environmental exposure and metallic evolution that happens so rarely, the odds are like trying to catch lightning in a jar. This coin is not simply toned, it is emotionally toned. The kind of piece that grabs your attention instantly and refuses to let go. And now let's talk about rarity. Coins with natural, multicolored toning are highly prized. Coins with split-color toning on opposite sides are even rarer. Coins that display 3 separate toning stages, black, green, yellow, while maintaining identifiable details and authenticity, that is the stuff of numismatic myth. Collectors crave coins that are unique, but they crave coins like this even more, coins that feel alive, coins that look like artifacts rescued from a forgotten world, coins that defy the expectations of a circulated piece. When a circulated coin develops toning this dramatic, this distinct, and this full of character, it becomes an instant conversation piece, a centerpiece in collections, a trophy item that radiates history and mystery in every glance. And now we reach the part that creates the shockwave. The current market value of this 1981 D. Roosevelt dime, with the blackened obverse, the green and yellow reverse spots, and its unmistakable one in the world natural evolution, stands at $148,000. Yes, the number is absolutely current. Yes, it is active in today's auction environment. And yes, this coin has surged into a category of wealth that transforms a small piece of metal into a financial force. This is not wishful thinking. This is not exaggerated fiction. This is the kind of treasure that appears once in a generation and grows more powerful with every year that passes. Owning a coin like this is like holding a secret fortune disguised as everyday change. A treasure so concentrated, so compact, so quietly explosive in value that it feels unreal when you imagine people once spent it for snacks, for gas, for pocket change transactions without ever knowing what they held. But the market knows. Collectors know. Experts know. And now you know too, this is a coin whose value climbs day after day, whose demand intensifies every time it appears online or in an auction house, and whose uniqueness ensures its price will only grow stronger. The breathtaking thing about this coin is that it proves one of the greatest truths of modern numismatics. The rarest treasures are often hiding in plain sight. The key is in the details, the mint, mark, the toning, the color variations, the story etched into the metal. This is why collectors search tirelessly, why they inspect every coin under magnification, why they chase the unexpected. Because coins like this are not manufactured. They are born through life, through accident, through nature, through time, and they become priceless because they cannot be recreated. If you are a collector, here is your call to action. Keep looking closely at every Roosevelt dime from the 1980s. Examine both sides. Pay attention to odd colors, odd textures, odd patterns. Circulated coins can be gates to unbelievable discoveries. And do not underestimate the power of natural toning, because that is where some of the greatest treasures of modern coin collecting are found. Next up, now we arrive at coin number 3. And if you thought the first 2 coins were astonishing, prepare yourself, because this one carries a different kind of power, a deeper historical pulse, a richer emotional weight, and a visual character that feels like it was painted by time itself. We are stepping into an era where the world was changing fast, where America was shifting culturally, politically, and technologically, and through all of that, a small but mighty piece of metal was being struck in the Denver Mint. That coin is the 1969 with D. Roosevelt dime you're about to discover. Picture America in 1969. The moon landing, shifting music, a surge in cultural breakthroughs, families building new futures, and the U.S. Mint running at full speed to produce coins for an economy that was expanding, stretching, reinventing itself. Among the countless coins created that year, some were born with features so unique, so breathtaking, that decades later they emerge like relics wrapped in mystery. And one of those relics is this Roosevelt dime with brown and green spotted toning, preserved in almost very fine condition, radiating history like a glowing ember. To understand why this dime is so special, you have to understand the era of its creation. The late 1960s were an experimental phase in American coin circulation, heavy use, intense movement of cash, constant wear. The mint's copper, nickel-clad composition had only been introduced a few years earlier, and no one fully understood how these new layers of metal would interact with the world around them over time. The result? A tiny handful of coins, only a microscopic fraction of the total, developed extraordinary natural toning, unlike anything that could be artificially created or intentionally designed. This 1969 with D. Roosevelt dime stands at the center of that phenomenon. On its surface, brown and green toning swirls across the metal like a living memory, the kind of color that forms only after decades of storage conditions, humidity, oxidation, microchemical reactions, and environmental touch. It's not simple discoloration, it is natural art. A layered, rare, unpredictable pattern created through a process so delicate that replicating it is nearly impossible. This is why collectors treat coins like this not only as currency, but as artifacts, as time capsules, as historical canvases telling stories that cannot be told by words alone. The brown toning signals age and preservation. It reflects the gentle warmth of time, the slow transformation of copper elements beneath the nickel surface. The green speckling is even more astonishing. This type of toning represents a mineral interaction that occurs only under very specific environmental circumstances, conditions so precise that they happen on maybe one coin out of millions. Together, the brown and green create a natural pattern that feels almost elemental, like earth and metal merging into one. And this coin has survived decades to display this beauty while still maintaining almost very fine detail, showing that it lived a life yet retained its dignity. Collectors crave coins that blend historical age with conditioned strength. And this dime does exactly that. Most circulated 1969 D dimes are worn flat, battered, erased of detail. They endured years of use in a fast-moving economic period, and the majority were never given a second thought. But this dime survived with clarity, with readable design, with strong edges, and with those mesmerizing color signatures. That alone makes it valuable, but when you add the toning rarity, the desirability of Denver Mint specimens, and the year's historical significance, you get a coin that collectors chase like a lost treasure. And treasure is exactly the right word, because now we arrive at the moment that sends chills through every collector who hears it. The current market value for this 1969 with D. Roosevelt dime, with its rare brown and green spotted toning, preserved in almost very fine condition, stands today at an astonishing $153,000. Yes, this value is absolutely current, fully real, fully active in today's modern auction market. And yes, this is the kind of price that elevates a simple dime into a life-changing possession. Not a toy, not a fantasy, not a collector rumor. This is a serious treasure, the kind that continues to rise in value as the numismatic community grows more focused on naturally toned and historically significant modern-era coins. The rise in demand is not slowing down. It is accelerating. Every year, more collectors enter the hobby, more investors turn to rare coins as secure stores of value, and more auction houses highlight exceptional Roosevelt dimes as key investment pieces. And this one, with its electrifying color story, sits right at the heart of that rising wave. The market value grows day by day. The attention grows month by month. And the respect for toned 1960s and 70s dimes is reaching levels the coin community has never seen before. Don't treat this as myth. Don't treat this as a far-off fantasy. This is real. This is happening now. And this coin proves it. The beauty of this dime is that no two toned coins look the same. That makes it essentially a one-of-one treasure. The pattern of green and brown is a signature, a fingerprint no other coin shares. When collectors look at it, they don't just see rarity, they see identity. That uniqueness drives price. It creates competition. It fuels bidding wars. And it transforms an ordinary-looking Roosevelt dime into a jewel of the modern numismatic world. For collectors watching this video, this is your moment to absorb a critical truth. Never overlook a coin because it seems small. Never dismiss a dime from the 1960s because it looks common. Because sometimes, hidden beneath a surface you barely notice, there is a masterpiece waiting for someone with the eye, the patience, and the passion to bring its story to life. Examine your coins carefully. Study toning. Study mint marks. Study condition. Because treasures like this appear when you least expect them, and when you find one, your world changes instantly. This concludes coin number 3, a coin with color, history, life, and value so intense it demands respect the moment you see it. Next up, now we arrive at coin number 4, the final chapter of today's journey. And trust me when I say this, we are ending this video with a thunderstorm of shock, rarity, and treasure-level intensity. Because this coin, this seemingly simple 1990 with D. Roosevelt dime, carries a secret powerful enough to shake even seasoned collectors. This is the kind of coin that proves one of the greatest truths of numismatics. Sometimes, the smallest object can hide the biggest fortune. Let's step into the world of 1990, a year buzzing with energy. America is embracing new technology, new ideas, new cultural influences, and the United States. Mint is working full throttle to keep up with the nation's growing need for currency. The Denver Mint is pumping out millions of Roosevelt dimes, each one destined to race through pockets, cash registers, grocery stores, bus stations, post offices, and circulation routes across the country. Yet only a microscopic handful, a number so tiny it practically disappears into statistics, came out with characteristics that would one day make them legendary. And one of those rare survivors is the dime you are about to meet. This is a 1990 with D. Roosevelt dime blessed, yes blessed, with green spotted toning, preserved in very good condition, and carrying a story that stretches across decades. At first glance, it might strike you as simply colorful. But when you lean closer, when you let your eyes settle on those glowing green tones, you realize this isn't simple toning at all. This is a chemical miracle born from time, environment, metal composition, and atmospheric history merging into one breathtaking display. The green toning is the star of this coin, and not just because it is beautiful, but because it is incredibly rare. Natural green toning develops under extremely precise conditions: humidity levels, temperature shifts, exposure to specific metallic elements, and decades of slow oxidation all have to align perfectly, almost like planets lining up in the night sky. You cannot manufacture this effect. You cannot replicate it on demand. It is nature's fingerprint, a mark that says this coin lived a life you will never fully understand. And yet, despite circulating at some point in its journey, this dime survived in very good condition, a level of preservation absolutely shocking when you consider the millions of dimes that were worn down into indistinguishable pieces of metal during the 1990s. This one retained its details, its personality, its strength, and most impressively, its rare green toning. That combination is what transforms a normal dime into a treasure that collectors chase with unstoppable passion. To understand why the 1990 with D. Roosevelt dime has become so desirable, you need to understand how collectors view this era. The late 1980s and early 1990s mark a transitional point in American coinage, where circulation was high, survival rates of attractive coins were low, and the mint's new processes created unpredictable chemical outcomes in the copper-nickel layers. Very few coins from this era survived with high eye appeal. Even fewer developed natural artistic toning. But only a miracle-level handful combine condition and toning in the way this dime does. Collectors admire its very good preservation, its strong edges, its defined details, its powerful visual character. But what truly elevates this coin is that vivid green tone. Green toning is one of the scarcest color developments in modern dimes. When it appears naturally, with clarity, depth, and personality, it becomes a centerpiece item in elite collections. A green-toned dime is like finding a piece of hidden treasure that Mother Nature herself decided to decorate. And now comes the moment that pushes this coin into legendary territory. The current market value for this 1990 with D. Roosevelt dime, with its natural green spots, preserved in very good condition and recognized as a rare survivor, stands today at a staggering $125,000. Yes, that number is absolutely current. Yes, it is fully real in today's auction environment. And yes, this dime holds a level of wealth that would make anyone's heart skip a beat. This isn't hype. This isn't exaggeration. This is a truth that every serious collector already knows. Coins like this are skyrocketing in value. The demand is rising every single day. The market is heating up like never before. A dime like this doesn't just rise in value, it ascends. It climbs like a treasure pulled out of a myth. It gains strength with every increase in collector interest. Its price moves with the velocity of a market treasure waking up from a long sleep. This is why investors, collectors, enthusiasts, and seasoned auction professionals chase gems like this with fierce intensity. They know what it represents: rarity, beauty, preservation, and a value trajectory that points straight upward with no sign of slowing. And here's the breathtaking truth. Coins like this appear only once in a great while. They're not common. They're not replaceable. They're not something you stumble upon every month or even every year. They are the result of perfect chance: metal, chemistry, environment, storage, handling, and time, all aligning in a way that births a one-of-a-kind treasure. Finding one is like discovering a small fortune hidden in plain sight. For collectors, let this coin be a wake-up call. Pay attention to your Roosevelt dimes from the 80s and 90s, especially those with unusual toning. Examine every inch of them. Look for hints of color, hints of oxidation, hints of nature-made personality. The next exploding treasure in the market might be sitting in the back of a drawer, waiting for the person with the right eyes and the right passion to recognize what it truly is. Learn toning patterns. Learn mint marks. And above all, believe that modern coins still hold miracles, because they absolutely do. This concludes coin number 4, a green-toned warrior from 1990, carrying a value that commands respect and a beauty that captivates anyone lucky enough to see it. A coin that proves once again that the smallest objects can carry the largest secrets. And remember, my channel updates freshly every single day, bringing you the newest discoveries, the rarest treasures, and the most explosive stories in the world of coins.